No, he is absolutely not my father. He's not even my stepfather. It's complicated. He's my brother-in-law, really. It's just that his wife is my birth mother, but I was adopted by her parents, so I grew up with her as my sister. There is no way on earth that Peter brought me up. However, for the purposes of this, yes, he is my father. I should like to make it quite clear, though, that Peter's done no fathering of me. Is what I wanted to say to the nurse, but did not. It made me shudder that anyone would think for one moment that Peter had any role whatsoever in rearing me. But at the hospital, they had to believe I was close family. I was Sandra's firstborn son. You don't get much closer than that. I'd only a few days before met their neighbour, Sweaty Sammy. I think he was on legal highs. And his open words to me were, "They've been like parents to me, Peter and Sandra. I didn't know there was another son." Well, fuck you very much. That's very handy at your deathbed, Sandra. I mean, I only grew up 7 miles away in Staffordshire and begrudgingly visited and called you every week for most of the 43 years of my life. After what I'd found out that morning, I'm not surprised I was never mentioned.
Said I should have HIV positive stamped across my forehead. I'm not even sure if I'd had sex by this time. She said this in the 6th form. She also said that God intended for man and woman to be together. That's why Noah's Ark had happened, and that's why the animals were led in 2 by 2 so they could procreate. Mrs. told 2 of my friends that they should not hang around with me. She was the dinner lady. She said they'd catch AIDS from me. You must be a love divine. Oh, strike me, knock me down beside you. How could I ever blame you? Sacrifice to chain you. Oh, kill me. Just don't blame me. Take me with your AIDS gun. Pierce me and deflate me. You make me feel so fine. You must be a love divine.
Do you remember how dull you were? Telling that same story over, drunk, how your teacher told you you were more intelligent than the rest? Do you remember how you silenced the room? All of them, your friends. They'd not got the reference I made to the TV show Threads that it had given me nightmares for a year. It wasn't enough that no one could relate to that. You had to stun us all into silence, laughing and pointing at me saying, "Don't listen to him, he's mad." Do you remember how you shared your drugs, the high-strength painkillers, with W and P, but when it was my turn, you held up your hand and said,
"No, you are no good on these things. You can't handle them."
Do you remember that same night I spent an hour trying to walk you back up the hill? You were rooted to the spot on alcohol and painkillers, the hill that was 5 minutes walk from home. Do you remember how you laid in the streets of Sitges the first night of our holiday? I did not recognise any of the streets. I did not know how to get us back to the villa we had only arrived earlier, a few hours before. And yet, do you remember that night I handed my dissertation in? How I sneaked your drugs and drank strong beer. How you told me I was slurring my words, pub. And when I fell off the bus and grazed both my legs in the ground, you just left me there and told me how I disgusted